On this episode of Talk the Talk, murder, drugs, gang activity, arson,
and ice cream.
Yeah.
The sound of an ice cream truck brings back memories of hot summer afternoons when children rushed to their parents' wallets to buy a delicious ice cream cone. However, during the 1980s in Scotland, an ice cream van was a sign of danger.
It comes.
In the night, they would scoop up the kids like ice cream.
They called them the Scoopas. The Scoopa Troopas.
Friendly competition is natural among street vendors, but ice cream truck drivers took it to a whole new level of violence in what came to be known as the Ice Cream Wars. Economically, the town of Glasgow is known to have an unequal distribution of wealth. As a result of this, for many families, owning an ice cream van was the perfect source of revenue.
It's a family business. It's not much, but it's honest work. we sell ice creams.
This is my son Jeremiah. He's a conesmith.
Runs in our veins.
Consumers saw it as a way to receive affordable treats without having to travel. Vendors could make up to $250 a week, and without any competition, this was plenty. Many family-owned tricks were more than satisfied with the amount earned. However, some vendors wanted to sell more. Glasgow's ice cream vans started to become mobile fronts for rival criminal gangs selling stuff like cigarettes, hard drugs, and stolen stereos.
Those are my favorite flavors. Man, ever since Cold Stone stopped having cigarettes, it just hasn't been the same.
Imagine you get a cone and there's like cigarettes like burnt into it.
No, I love stolen stereo.
Like, hey kid, you want a cone or a stolen stereo?
Ice cream trucks were the perfect way to distribute illegal goods. They were rarely pulled over, weren't suspicious, and it was easy to use them to mishandle revenue without government officials noticing. It all began with van owners insulting...
Doesn't it always?
It all began with van owners insulting newcomers to the area. Take Agnes Laffrey, for example. Laffrey decided to distribute ice cream to the Gotham Lock Scheme...
Damn it!
They're selling Batman ice cream.
They don't sell them.
They don't?
Because if the clowns are running the ice cream, why would they want to represent the guy that, like...
Well, because Batman's a hero around the city. Everyone wants the Bat merch.
But the clowns can just be like, we're all sold out, honk honk, and just like, you know, feign
Joker
ignorance.
line.
And she was well aware she wasn't welcome, but she was desperate to make a profit to provide for her family. At the end of the first week, the gang bought a new permanent van to follow her every move.
His job was to follow me, and wherever I stopped, for him to stop, to take as much business away from me as possible.
They are clowns.
They're
just creepy. They're just following you.
It's like the mafia.
It's the 2016 clowns that followed you around with knives. That's this gang. They're the clowns.
This was a way to viciously compete. For a while, she didn't see this as a threat, until one day, 4 men, including convicted van smasher.
Oh, that's a title.
Van smasher. You don't want that around your van.
Man. Convicted van smasher? Imagine walking around, big dicks back in town, the van smasher's coming.
It's worse, his name is Frank Falloon.
Okay, listen, he is a clown. That's a convicted van smasher and a convicted clown.
Balloon? That's a cover-up name.
Literally,
Balloon.
Balloon.
Change that to a balloon.
Balloon?
It's balloon.
Also, it's alliteration.
Balloon.
Frank Falloon, Brank Balloon. Clowns.
No, Prank Balloon, because that's clown.
Get it?
Until one day, 4 men, including convicted van smasher, Frank Falloon, jumped in front of her car and demolished the windshield with a baseball bat. She immediately left that area and never interfered with the gang again.
The gang?
This hostility between colorfully painted ice cream trucks might seem comical, but even for the inhabitants of Scotland's most violent city, it was getting out of hand. Intimidation escalated further. Gangs would beat up ice cream sellers who refused to follow orders. Meanwhile, the police seemed so unwilling to address the problem that locals took to calling them the Serious Chime Squad instead of the Serious Crime Squad.
Oh my god! What?
Take that, cops!
Oh, fuck 12!
Even the cops are getting clowned on.
Andrew Doyley, also known as Fat Doyley, was a teenager in the area with a local family ice cream van. He was among the few who refused to distribute drugs along his route. It started simple, with wordplay, harassment, and other forms of threats, but things started to escalate quickly. One night, as he was selling with his younger sister in one of the neighborhoods, a mysterious convertible pulled up and shot the windshield of their van. No one was hurt, however. This meant war.
What'd he do? What did Fat Doyley do?
What did Fat Doyley get himself into this?
Fat Doyley still didn't take the hint. So, on the dreadful night of April 16th, 1984, the gang lit the front door of his family's apartment ablaze. He was sleeping inside, along with his parents, 2 brothers, sister, and 18-month-old nephew. No one survived.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Holy shit, we can't make a joke about that.
Yeah. I guess they weren't clowning around then.
The brutal killing shocked Scotland into action, and the police rushed to find the culprits. After interrogating hundreds of people, they arrested Thomas Campbell and Joe Steele, convicted them for the death of Doyley and his family, and sentenced them to life in prison. But the sentence was just the beginning of a legal war that would capture the nation's attention for 2 decades, and has become one of the most contentious cases in recent Scottish history.
See, these guys, they aren't clowns because they don't have fun names.
Thomas Campbell and Joe Steele.
It's not clowns.
There's no jokes there. These are just real mafia
They're
assholes.
not clowning around anymore.
Thomas Campbell and Joe Steele were declared guilty by a unanimous jury, even though their lawyers managed to uncover several pieces of evidence that seemed to undermine the accusations. Campbell attracted media attention by staging a hunger strike that nearly killed him, while Steele escaped from prison 3 times, handcuffed, and then glued himself to the Buckingham Palace.
Just like Gandhi. The hunger strike, not the...
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, remember when Gandhi glued himself to the Buckingham Palace?
Remember when Gandhi handcuffed himself?
He got so hungry that he ate glue at the Buckingham Palace. Finally, in 2001, after 17 years in prison, the pair was set free. Lord Gill, Scotland's most senior judge, called the 2 men victims of a miscarriage of justice. It is a disgrace.
He's Scottish, not old American.
Oh, shit.
Just like this.
Oh.
It is a disgrace, said Anwar. They took away the best years of their lives. Scarred them for life.
I'm available for bar mitzvahs, birthday partings, weddings, and funerals.
Scotland still isn't safe from the turf war, since the arsonists were never found.
Seems like no one will be screaming for ice cream in the streets of Glasgow.
That was catchy. Did you write that one?
No, she did. Key change.
You only went an octave higher.